What?
Hi, Bartello.
Eh.
I'm eating
Oh,
dinner.
sorry.
Sorry.
Hi, Bartello. I'm in rollers. I'm also sorry.
I'm not sorry for anything. I'm just gonna fall asleep halfway through this. It's fine. Also, I'm gonna start a timer because I forgot to do that.
That'll be nice.
Yeah,
All right,
probably.
so Bartello's question first or ours?
I think Bartello's.
You
Actually,
always
I
do
want to do
Bartolo.
Bartello's last. We usually do his first.
But ours can take
All right, that's
forever.
cool. Switch it up. We'll be different. Um, who wants to go first with their questions? Because I don't really care.
Might be a good opening. Uh, I was just gonna bring up the fact that was the okay. I got confused because I didn't know if we meant if Bartello wanted us to read the letters at the end, so I did. And I wanted to bring up the fact that it seems like towards the end of the book, the monster and Victor became very, very similar
Yes.
in both like in their like a social, I guess, in the view of society. Excuse me.
Yeah. I almost. I mean, there was like that one question where Bartolo asked, like, was he like the representation of sin? And I think like our answer to that were like he was the representation of Victor's sin. Kind of holds true throughout the rest of this book, where like everything that Victor seems to do wrong, which is basically everything, kind of gets reflected back into the monster, even though the monster is super cool. But yeah,
Could you say that the could you say that gets reflected back to Victor? Like from he reflects into the monster and the monster reflects back into him?
well, I mean, he killed his entire family and everyone he loves, so he definitely has an effect. Also, is this what you have to do to your hair every night, Maniko? Is this like a real thing?
Huh?
Is this like a real thing you have to do, like all the time?
What?
Like, your hair, just whatever. Talk. Okay,
We're not
then go.
doing that. No, later.
Next question.
Just go.
Anyway, I'll bring up my question first. We need some substance here. Um, so in the last couple of chapters that we needed to read, the phrase "I will be with you on your wedding night" is said 3 times. Do you think there is a significance in this?
Nathan, I did this to you.
Huh?
Yes.
So what
The
is the
significance.
significance and what can it be compared to, if anything?
Well, first of all, rule 3.
Nah,
Mm,
just 4.
4.
I'm kidding.
What?
Just keep
Oh.
I
talking.
was about to say, don't ruin my moment, okay?
Yes. First of all, it's
Like
rule
me.
3. Second of all, it seems like it's very important. What comes to mind is like the story in the Bible. Like we use the Bible a lot with the story, but like the story in the Bible when Jesus gets captured and who is it? Peter.
Yes.
And he's just like Jesus goes to Peter. It's like you're gonna say you're not my friend 3 times. And Peter's like nah, and then he does it 3 times, and I felt like it was sort of like a callback to that.
Yeah. Um. Oh, where else is there rule 3 in the Bible? It's like even more obvious than Peter. Um. Damn it. I don't remember. Keep talking. Give me a second. I'm gonna find it.
The 3 days it took Jesus to come back.
No, not that obvious. That's too obvious. No.
I mean, there is a rule of 3 technically before it gets messed up by his wife being killed because Justine, William, and then Clairvaux are all killed by the monster. So then he has like 3 times in which he feels that before the actual thing hits him hardest, he loses his wife.
Not his
So,
wife.
so we don't
Okay,
count. If we don't technically count his wife in that little like thing, if we count her as like a like a final solution kind of thing. It's a rule of 3. I'm trying here. I'm stretching.
okay. About the entire thing where I'm gonna visit you on your wedding night. That this part personally makes me angry because Victor's just being an idiot.
Yeah. Also,
You want
okay.
to explain?
I wanted. I remember what I wanted to talk about with the rule 3 in the Bible.
Right.
So, it's in the triad, um, which Nathan looked at me like he doesn't know what that means.
I don't.
That's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's the
Oh,
Holy Trinity. That the triad's a fancy word for it, I think. And how like all three of those put together is supposed to be like one completed thing, and like the completion of God, the Trinity, that thing. And then this is like he said it 3 times, and it was like bam, they died. Also, someone else said something 3 times, and all I'm remembering.
In the Bible?
Yeah, someone else said something 3 times, and it happened.
Didn't
wasn't it Moses? Moses said something
didn't
3
let
times.
people go 3 times.
I think he did.
No,
Right?
I think he did.
The march on the walls of Jericho 3 times or 7 times, right?
What?
Right, Miniqua? 7 times.
Wait, what? For what?
The walls of Jericho, that was 7 times, right?
Yeah, that was 7. That wasn't 3.
But anyway, I was
I'm
just
not
thinking,
that bad of a Christian.
since you mentioned like the Holy Trinity, that's what I call it. I was thinking like it's interesting that you could theoretically say that the monster, the Victor, and theoretically his wife would represent the Holy Trinity, because the monster, like Victor would sort of be the father, the monster would sort of be the son, and the Holy Spirit would just be the general happiness that is emulated throughout the other people in the story. So together they actually make a good, decent person.
I don't think they make a decent person.
Well, they make a whole person.
That's true. They do make a whole person. No, I'm doing homework. Go away. I have to do a video chat every week. Go away.
So, with the
I was just going to ask you what time you work tomorrow.
Nathan, you were saying that Victor was an idiot since he knew that.
I was thinking about going to a certain dealership.
It was referenced.
You were going to go
first. On your wedding.
Yeah.
So, did you want to expand upon that? Like, why?
Yeah, I just felt like this is more like a complaint about Victor's character than anything, because it seems like a sort of writing mistake on the author's part. I mean, it sort of does happen. It sort of does happen in character, but then again, it doesn't, because it seems like Victor's supposed to be super smart and like intelligent, but he doesn't interpret I'll see you on your wedding night as in, oh, my wife's life is in danger. He interprets it as, oh, my life is in danger, which I find a little bit weird, considering that even I felt like it was kind of obvious what was going to happen to him. But it sort of fits in character because Victor has been selfish throughout the story, and it's not just like the first time he has acted in his own self-interest and disregarded the safety and concern of others.
I was about to say, with that, I feel like I would actually be mad about the fact that this is referenced 3 times, because he has the knowledge that someone is coming, and that maybe him, or let alone the other people around him, can be in danger. So I find that to be really annoying, because he has the knowledge there. He possesses the knowledge to possibly save someone. He doesn't do that, whether it be himself or his wife. Either way, he didn't do anything about it. He sat there worrying about it instead, which didn't help anyone.
Wait. See, I got a smart thing to say.
Yeah.
Smart thing. Okay. Do you think that this is Mary Shelley's reflection of her society? That people seem to take information that could help other people, but then not share it because we're a bunch of pricks. Let's think about it. That's definitely a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. It probably is, but I just can't remember, because I researched Mary Shelley and I don't remember reading anything in her personal life that has to deal with like people.
No, I'm not saying she had anything to do with that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying
that. Possibly.
Yeah, that was a thing, and she was like, "Well, this sucks. People should stop doing that because they're stupid people. People are stupid."
I feel like the knowledge her society had, women actually did have power, that they could unlock it in that case if they tried harder and they were resilient in their efforts to do so.
Yeah, but I don't think she was
kind of hidden from them.
I don't think she was sort of like a modern day feminist. I mean, like, I feel like she was still reserved on, like, I don't feel like she took a real big stance on women's rights, because she still, the only thing all the female characters did was stand there and look pretty, and one of them died. Actually, two of them died. Like,
Yeah, I
it
don't
might
think
have more. It might have more to do with like just society in general, not like the female versus male aspect in society.
Yeah, I think that she kind of portrayed both female and men to be terrible. Like the women just kind
I
of
was gonna
stood
say,
there, and the
well,
men were just
everyone is
awful.
terrible.
Like, what are you saying, woman?
I said, well, everyone is terrible.
That's her point. Everyone is terrible.
Yeah, everyone's
I-
terrible.
Well, I could have told you that without reading the book.
Well, you
So
know
I'm
what?
sorry.
Blame Bartello. She made us read
I
this.
do right now.
So, do you guys want to tackle Bartel's question, or do you guys want to talk about
We still
tackle
got 20
Bartel's
minutes.
question?
I don't think we're gonna have 20 minutes on that question.
I want to bring up something.
All right.
Okay.
I was going to say, do you think? What is it? Do you think the fact that Victor has to live with his creation's actions punishment enough?
For
Wait,
him creating?
what was the word in that?
I said, do you think that the fact that Victor has to live with what his monster did punishment enough
Oh
for
no,
him as a person?
no, not at all. Because he dies anyway. So
Yeah.
like, what difference does that make? But like, I mean, I would argue he is more to blame for who the monster killed than the monster is to blame.
100%.
But I mean, I feel like, you know,
But
he
the
should.
monster was also turned by society, so I mean,
Yeah, but who really set the monster off? Because it wasn't some nice young kid or a family somewhere. It was Victor being a stupid prick.
I'm not saying it's
He
not his fault,
effectively-
but I'm not saying it's not his fault, but it's not only his. Like, it's not only him. So I feel like
I think it's like at
society
least
as a
90%
whole as
him.
well
I think-
itself should-
I would go with more like I would not say it's 100%, but like it's very much Victor's fault because I do believe that it was the family acting like meanies that set him off. That really set him off. Like it was the son and the wife that really set him off when they acted like he was a monster, even though he hadn't done anything, only based on his appearance. I feel like it was just like society's fault, but I do feel like it was Victor did not equip him enough to deal with society. He basically had a child that had super strength, and he put him in high school and just let them make fun of him, and hoping that something wouldn't bad happen. Like he equivalently gave a child a gun and a motive to shoot people. Like,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use an office reference here because I think it's like super fitting. Like, you don't. Okay, so if you put a 3-year-old in a car and tell him to drive, you don't blame the 3-year-old for crashing the car. You blame the person who let him drive.
yeah, it's like
I don't.
Victor never stops to think about the monster's feelings. He never stops to think about anyone else's feelings, but like he doesn't take the chance to like put himself in the monster's shoes or try to interpret what it's like to be like an actual father.
Yeah, I think Victor just kind of. I mean, he lost control of him, but at the same time, it was not like the monster adamantly tried to get away. Like I feel like in every cartoonish Frankenstein I've ever seen, it's like the monster ran away. Oh no!
Yeah, but with this, it's more like Victor threw him out.
Victor threw him out. It was kind of just a giant douche.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this side. So
Wrong.
I feel like shut up. Anyway, I feel like Frankenstein. I mean, not Frankenstein. Wow, I'm so dead inside. The monster. Like, I feel like the monster also has some blame in it to some certain degree because, and I'll say why. I feel like it's because he didn't like the one thing he didn't develop was forgiveness. Had he done that, like to some degree, he could have forgave Victor for what he had done and tried to move on. Let's say,
But
instead of
Never learned forgiveness.
Did Victor ever learn forgiveness either?
No.
Like,
Victor, yeah, I don't think he did, but like the monster never learned forgiveness to begin with. Like, there's a reason. Like, if Frankenstein ever went to trial, and if the monster ever went to trial, Victor would be the one who gets actually sent to jail, because it's basically like equipping, not preparing your children for the real world. Like,
I mean, I
like
think
Tyler says, 3-year-old in the car, like, you got to play the parents.
Yeah, I feel like it's. I mean, he should have learned forgiveness.
I was about to say,
Like,
but then
personally, I don't care. Like, I wouldn't forgive Victor. I mean, like, what he did was terrible. Like, he is a flaming douche nozzle,
think
to
about
speak
it, but
scholarly.
from a religious standpoint, if we're going like Bible stuff here, and we're trying to throw Shelley with the Bible here,
this is Old Testament. God didn't forgive. The entire part of the New Testament.
I'm proud of you for that one.
This is some Old Testament bull. Like, God did not forgive, and we're bringing religion into this. And the entire point of the New Testament was that the fact that God gave us the ability to be forgiven. The Old Testament, you messed up once, you were done.
Okay, I didn't say I was a great Christian. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna just move on to a different point, considering the fact that I've been repeated very hard here. I'm gonna stop.
Okay, wait, can I make a point?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm aware, that Shelley never gave the monster a name.
She did not.
Nope.
So,
So I kept calling it things.
why do you guys think that she didn't?
Never get. I feel like this is one of Bartel's questions. We answered this pretty well, but I forget what we said.
Did she? Did she ask this question?
I feel like that was like one of the first questions she asked.
I do not remember this question.
I don't either.
I don't remember ever talking about this question.
Yeah.
Wait.
What is it? I was going to say, like, to answer your question in general, I feel like there's probably several reasons why she didn't give a name. One being that, like, usually when authors don't give names to characters, it's to, like, have ambiguous, whatever, you know the word I'm trying to say. Yes. Try to keep it broad in the sense that it could even be us.
Yeah, I was gonna say that usually most authors keep characters, like major characters, when it's a major character that remains nameless, it's usually because we are supposed to be in their shoes, or we are supposed to emphasize with that character, because there was someone who was nameless in the Bible. Oh man.
There was a
lot of names, but there was one person that remained nameless.
Don't know. It's not Jesus. He's got like 60s. I don't know if I agree with you guys. I feel like it was like to dehumanize the monster, like to make him not seem human.
I would actually argue that by not giving him a name, he seemed more human.
How in the hell does that make him more human?
Because when you have a name, that means someone actually like cares for you. Like, when someone thought about you. But in this situation, we start off by not giving the monster a name. We start off pitying the monster and like feeling bad for him.
So then, do you think that by not naming the monster, she was like reflecting how crappy of a person Victor was? Because he never even cared enough to name him?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Well, I agree with you. That's what I mean. Sorry.
I have to say, I agreed with Nathan, like the point he was making before, but I had a different aspect to support that. I felt like, the monster probably wasn't named and was made more human that way, because usually when you have a name, you have a reputation to live up to. usually through your
Wow.
name because your name has meaning. But the fact that the monster didn't have a name and it was known as the monster, that was its only reputation to live up as. It didn't have anything to go off of, so it, in the end, became a monster by killing. So I feel like by that logic, that's you. That's one of the reasons.
Titus, how are we doing on time?
Yeah.
9 minutes, 20 seconds.
Okay.
So you want to talk about Bartel's question?
Yeah.
Who wants to read it?
I'll read it. I like reading. Victor warns Robert that acquiring knowledge can lead to quote unquote destruction and infallible misery. End quote. What are your thoughts about this idea? Use points from the novel as well as real life to support your opinions.
Nathan,
Okay.
would you like to start? Okay.
War. Just the entire idea and the evolution of war is evidence enough that knowledge will eventually kill us all. Because we go from, like, as the human race, we go from bows and arrows to nuclear bombs in not in a couple centuries, which is not a long time. And not even that, but with whenever we create anything new, there's always going to be an exploit or a negative aspect of which you can use it.
So wait, okay, am I allowed to argue against this? Is this part
You
of
are
this
100%
question?
allowed to. It says, what are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, okay, I'm going to argue against it. So personally, I am a giant nerd for a lot of things, and one of them is knowing things. And I think that if you don't know things, we're all going to die. Because, I mean, think about it. If we never learned how to make a bow and arrow, how would we have ever hunted?
Spears.
We would have. Okay. You know what else they use spears for, Nathan? Killing people. They still did that. Anything.
My point exactly.
Okay. We would have died out without them. Without that knowledge. How the crap is that supposed to work? And I'm not going to reference atomic bombs because
the bow and arrow was invented during medieval times during a war. That's the only reason why it was invented. It was then it was invented in the hunting.
During medieval times. It's way before that, bud. Way before that. Okay.
No, it was the crossbow that was invented during
I'm
medieval
gonna come
times.
in
My bad.
and
Crossbow.
I'm gonna be the person in the middle, I guess. All right, so let's go. I'm gonna argue both. So on the side of the fact that knowing knowledge is bad, I say due to let's say a person knows a secret. Can you stop banging for the love of Christ? Let's say a person knows a secret and it's eating away at them. The fact that depending on the knowledge, what kind of knowledge it is, it can be beneficial or it can eat away at a person to the point where it does cause destruction and misery in the person's life, and it makes them a shell of a human. So that's on one side. On another side, I do feel like knowing things in that case stops you from falling into that path, because let's say, I guess, burning your hand, in the story, had the monster knew about what fire was and the fact that it could harm you, probably wouldn't have put their hand in the fire. So.
What?
Would have probably put it
Use that
over.
knowledge to burn down the house. Use that knowledge of fire to say, "Hey, this hurts. Let me use it against people and burn down the house."
No. Okay, that is not what knowledge is used for. Okay,
but that's what we use it for.
No, we don't. Okay. No. Okay, you can't say that by learning that you burn your hand, that the next logical thing in a normal person's mind is to go burn down a building.
It's not even about logic. Nothing we humans do is technically logical. It's about what it's about the knowledge. It's about how we use the knowledge more than what we use it for.
But okay, even if you're gonna argue like that, which I'm pretty sure is actually one of the questions, so I'm going to too. We don't inherently use knowledge for bad things. You can't say that. We don't. When we learned how to build rockets, granted, they were developed to literally their sole purpose was by the Germans to shoot missiles at people. That was why rockets were developed. That was no shut your mouth.
My
Okay.
thing is,
But
hold on. I'm stopping both of you. Stop it. Anyway, I'm gonna say this statement and I'm gonna go off from there. Knowledge is used for self-advancement. Right or wrong? Do either of you agree with that?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So in that case, it really doesn't depend. It depends, one, on the type of knowledge it is, and two, the kind of human. Because at that point, you know whether it'll be used for self-advancement at the expense of another person or self-advancement that helps the people around them.
Are you saying it depends on the creator?
Yes.
That is 100% wrong.
I feel like it would.
No.
It does not depend on the creator. It depends on how society or the people who's using it interprets it.
Honestly, I'm going to agree with
In that
Nathan
case,
on that
it
one.
would be. In that case, it would be both, because think about it. The creator has some influence. I'm not saying it has all.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, Nathan, let me argue this because I wanted to continue. I wanted to continue my rocket story because I like it. So, the original rocket, which was developed by the Germans, was the V2, and it shot missiles at people and then blew up people, and it was great. It was awesome. But Werner von Braun, that was his original name. He was German, and then after the war, he moved to America. And then that's where he developed the freaking Saturn V, which took us to the freaking moon. So, as you can see, the exact same person, but in two different societies, creates two very different things. One of them kills people, and the other one sends people to space.
I'm going to go with you, Titus, but argue the exact opposite of what you were saying, how it's good. The creator of the internet wanted the internet to be a safe place where we could exchange information. But nowadays, it is now a dangerous place where people do a lot of bad and horrible things. And it's sort of like the creator might intend it for this, for it to be a safe and well-used network of computers, but it turned out to be something completely horrible. It's just dependent on the society that we have. And our society will usually 9 out of 10 automatically use it for its own gain, which will cost others to lose.
But I'm going
What
off
do you
the
think will happen? What do you think will happen when someone discovers a cure for cancer?
I wrote a story about that.
Yeah, like whoever discovers it, if it's not a humanitarian, whoever discovers it will make people pay for it. Why? Because it's self-improvement at the cost of others. That's just what we do with the knowledge.
But does that make knowledge a bad thing?
No, the question isn't whether knowledge is a bad thing or nothing. The question asks, can it lead to bad things? And 9 out of 10, it will lead to bad things.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with you there.
But it doesn't. Because inherently, how is knowing the cure for cancer and not telling it? I know this is going to sound really bad. Give me a second here. But how is that a bad thing? Like, give me a second before we all jump on my back here. But, like, if even some people get it, like, that's better than no one. Like, that's still an improvement. That's still good. But
the problem is, it wouldn't be based on it wouldn't be based on whoever discovered it. It'd be based on the society. As soon as the person who discovers cancer is gone, someone's going to try to make money off of it. Someone's going to either hoard away the secret or do something with it to prevent others.
What I'm saying is that even if they do that, like they hoard the secret, they try to not let like almost anyone ever see it. Like even if they never let anyone see it, that's not inherently bad. That just means they're bad people. The knowledge isn't bad.
Yeah, I'm not always saying that the knowledge is bad. I'm just
saying it's not leading to bad things.
I'm just saying that how we use the knowledge is bad.
Okay, so Titus, I'm going to present this. Hold on, I'm going to present this to you in that case. So, going out of the Bible, we're going to go here to Genesis, You
got 6 seconds.
All right. So, Adam and Eve, that's literally all I have to say. Them finding out knowledge.
We can go over if we want, but
let's go over a minute, I guess. I just say that Adam and Eve finding like knowledge and all that kind of stuff, that was inherently bad because they were literally told not to do that, but finding the knowledge anyway.
Okay,
They
wait.
might have been trying to find knowledge in that case in a good way, but you know, they were told not to. So it's bad. Like they were trying to find that information in the first place. They weren't trying to find it, but they stumbled upon it and won when they did.
We're over time, so I'm gonna shut up, but I'm still right.
I'm still right.
Hey, Bartello.
We're done.
I'm done.
We're done.
God Almighty, we are done.
Where's a party blower when you need one?
Let's see. Paper. Yeah. When was that?
All right, let's cut this off.
Bye.
I don't miss you.